Thank you, Mandy. Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Appropriations Financial Affairs Committee of the Maine Legislature. We are on Zoom right now to do a work session on the governor's proposed budget, the first version, and then the change package. And while folks are getting organized, I'll let you know before we do introductions for folks who are following along, we're going to be using the report back from the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee. And that is a document marked May 27th, 2021. And it says the word scanned at the top. We had a little bit of confusion about getting the page numbers in order and complete. But the report back we're using is from the Criminal Justice and Public Safety, dated May 27th, 2021. And the one I'm using says scanned across the top of it. So before we get started, I will ask folks to introduce themselves. Representative Corey?
Yes, I'm Patrick Corey, represent House District 25, which is part of Wyndham.
Representative Fay?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jessica Fay, and I represent House District 66, which is parts of the towns of Casco, Poland, and Raymond.
Representative Arata?
Good afternoon. My name is Amy Arata. I represent House District 65.
Representative Cardone?
Hi, I'm Barbara Cardone. I represent House District 127, part of Bangor.
Representative Millett?
Good afternoon, I'm Sowen Millett. I represent House District 71, towns of Norway, Sweden, Waterford, and West Paris.
Representative Martin?
John Martin, House District 151, Northwestern Aroostook County.
Representative Cloutier? You're on mute, Representative Cloutier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Representative Kristen Cloutier, and I represent part of Lewiston, House District 60.
Senator Davis?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Davis, and I represent Senate District 4, which is all of Piscataquis County and parts of Somerset and Penobscot.
Senator Bailey?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Donna Bailey. I represent Senate District 31, which is Saco, Old Orchard Beach, Hollis, Leamington, and part of Buxton.
And my name is Kathy Breen. I represent 6.5 communities in Cumberland County in the Maine Senate. I serve as Senate Chair of Appropriations. My co-chair, Representative Peirce, is in another meeting. So I'm very grateful to Representative Cloutier, who's going to be making motions. Oh, and there's Representative Hymanson. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm Patty Hymanson. I represent District 4, which is parts of York, Wells, Sanford, and all of Ogunquit.
Great, thank you. We are also helped by our analyst, Maureen Dawson, and today our clerk is Mandy Shorey, so we're very grateful to them for helping us get ready to do this work session today. So Representative Cloutier is going to be making motions, Representative Millett is going to be seconding, and we're going to do what we started last week. Rather than take 13 or affirmative votes for everybody present, we will ask for objections. And if I don't see any objections, then we'll move the motion as presented. So again, we're going to be working from the Criminal Justice and Public Safety report back dated May 27th, 2021. It should say scanned on the very top of it. And Representative Cloutier has the initiatives in hand. And I would just ask you, Representative Cloutier, to make sure you say the page number as well as the initiative, and take your time jumping around because it takes a while for folks to follow along.
Great. So thank you, Madam Chair. We will start on page 32. And the only initiative on that page under administration corrections, I'd like to move that in for the change package.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Moving on to page 33, the only initiative on that page under Correctional Medical Services Fund. I'd like to move that in for the change package.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
And moving to page 9 of the budget document.
Page 9 of the report back.
Yes, of the report back, but not the change package portion.
So at the top of the page, it says Correctional Medical Services Fund.
That's correct.
Great.
We're looking at reference number 530, which is at the bottom of that page. I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
And moving on to page 11, reference number 556, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Then moving on to page 15. Reference number 538, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Then moving on to page 27. Reference number 658 at the very top of that page, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Can you repeat that for me, please?
Yep, page 27, reference number 658.
Great. Okay. Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
On that same page, page 27, at the very bottom, reference number 661, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
just to interrupt, on page 27 at the top, you moved in 658 and not 659. Are we to go ahead and presume in the future that the ones that go together are both moved in or have the same motion?
I'm gonna ask Representative Millet if I had an oversight. Were you ready to go in on 659?
We are, and that may
Okay.
be my problem, so we are ready.
All right. So Representative Cloutier, would you mind backing up for a minute?
Sure, so returning to page 27, reference number 659, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Then moving on to page 28. Reference number 663, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
On that,
Madam Chair, one more. So on page 28, at the top of it, 662 goes with the 661 that you had moved in.
Okay.
And also 664 goes with the 663 that you had already moved in. And I'm wondering if you want to go ahead and do those at the same time.
I was going to do 664
Oh,
separately, but I can, are we all set on 662?
you have
Yeah.
not motioned.
You should do the motion for 662.
But is Representative Millet ready to go in on that?
Yes, Representative Cloutier, we are.
Thank you. So then at the top of page 28, reference number 662, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
And then on that same page, reference number 664, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
At the bottom of that same page, page 28, reference number 665, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
And I would turn your attention to page 36. At the top of that page, reference number 2291, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Page number 38. Reference number 2296, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
That same page, reference number 2297, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Moving to page 42. Reference number 2387, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
On that same page, page 42, reference number 2388, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Moving to page 43, reference number 2391, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
Turning the page to page 44, reference number 2392, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
Moving to page 45, reference number 2303, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
Turning to page 47, reference number 2395, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Second? Sorry, Representative Millet, I didn't hear you second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Turning to page 48, reference number 2397, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
On page 49, down at the very bottom, reference number 2348, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Turning to page 52, at the very bottom, reference number, sorry.
Hang on one second, Representative Cloutier, I think, did you move in 2349 on page 50?
No, I was just going back to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
So sorry, on page 50, reference number 2349, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Now moving to page 52. Reference number 2361 at the very bottom. And then at the top of page 53, reference number 2362, I'd like to move both of those in.
To both.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Turning to page 55, reference number 2335, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
On page 56, reference number 2336, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
On that same page, page 56, reference number 2338 at the very bottom, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
And on page 57, reference number 2339, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
On that same page, page 57, reference number 2340, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
And at the very bottom of that same page, page 57, reference number 2341, I'd like to move that in.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
And in that same document, I turn your attention to the language section. It's marked as page 1. I'd like to move in part BB.
Okay.
Part BB moved in and seconded. Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
So that concludes our work with the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Report. Did we want to move on to VLA?
Yes, please. We're going to move on to the report back from Veterans and Legal Affairs. It's dated May 25th, 2021.
So I would start with page 37. And it's military training and operations. I'd like to move that in per the change package.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
Then we are in the language section. It's marked as page 53. It's language RRR. I'd like to move that in per the change package.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
Then we're at page 39 of the report back. The last initiative on that page, I'd like to move that in for the change package.
Second.
Any discussion?
If I might, Madam Chair, I believe that one requires some language on the homeless veterans carrying language that I think Maureen is prepared to talk about.
Maureen, is that correct?
Yes, I believe I had sent all of you a potential amendment, and also actually it relates more to the one on page 40 that actually appropriates funds to the Veterans Homeless Prevention Partnership Fund. This one on page 39 actually de-appropriates to the Veterans Services, and the intention is to use those funds to fund the new program, Veterans Homeless Prevention Partnership Funds. So I can discuss that amendment really in this page or the next page, however you want to do that.
why don't you go ahead and share that with us now?
Okay, so actually in both pages, but it really refers to the Veterans Homeless Prevention Partnership Fund. The initiative language says that the funding, the general fund appropriation to the Veteran Homeless Prevention Partnership Program may not lapse, but must be carried forward from year to year to be used for the same purpose. If the intent, I believe the intent of the administration is that this be carried over every year in perpetuity. This would be a normal thing for this new program, Veterans Homeless Prevention Partnership Fund. If the intent of the committee is the same, that you would like it to carry over every year, forever, then it probably should be added to statute. In statute, there's a list of programs that get general fund money that general fund doesn't lapse. And the amendment I sent you adds this program to all those others and says in statute, so it's permanent and everybody can see it all the time, that it won't lapse. So I did send you that language, and if that is your intention to have it not lapse forever, OFPR would recommend that language part that we sent you that would add to statute.
Okay, I'm okay with that language. Representative Millet, I believe you were too.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so why don't we vote on the one on page 39 as it is, because it's a deappropriation, and then we'll turn the page to page 40 and vote in as amended. So I think the motion in front of us is still for page 39 to move
it doesn't really matter whether or not it says about on page 39 that sentence about the other program not lapsing. It's not necessary and could be confusing. I don't know how the revisor's office is going to treat that particular initiative, but it would probably be fine to take out that sentence, funds in the Veterans Homeless Prevention Partnership Program may not lapse, from this page 39 initiative. It's really irrelevant to the deappropriation going on here. So you may want to just amend it to take that last sentence out.
So I think the amended Blippi would be reduces funding in the Veteran Services Program General Fund.
Right, and you can say and increases funding in the other, I mean, there's probably nothing wrong. Generally, with general fund appropriations, you don't necessarily tie, like you as the appropriating committee could have taken the deappropriation and not done the appropriation, but I don't know how revisers is going to treat that, but the intent is very clear. From what I understand you're doing, you are going to move in this deappropriation and move in the appropriation. So I'm not exactly sure how the initiative language is going to end up, but the intent will be clearly fulfilled, regardless of what revisor's office may want to do with that. So if you want to move to amend, then take that last sentence out. I can't guarantee it wouldn't be further amended by revisers, but not to the point where it changes your intent. Clear as mud?
What do you recommend, Maureen?
I would go ahead and amend that to take out that last sentence in this one on page 39, with the understanding that there may be more tweaking in that. Well, that's true with any initiative language when revisers does their thing, but I would go ahead and take that last sentence out of page 39. Yeah.
So then the initiative on the bottom of page 39 would now read, reduces funding in the Veteran Services Program General Fund and increases funding in the Veterans Homelessness Prevention Partnership Fund Program General Fund.
Yes, that would be it for now, pending revisers review.
So I'd like to revise my motion with that amended language.
I'll second the amendment.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
And then on page 40, the only initiative on that page, I'd like to move that in as amended per the change package. Maureen, do you want to give us language?
That's probably fine. Again, we may take out that last sentence. It probably doesn't hurt to leave that last sentence in, but you will actually be strengthening that with the amendment that goes into the language part. So. I mean, it's fine the way it is. We'll see what revisers does with it, but the intent is extremely clear, which is the most important thing in these straw votes. So your motion's fine in per change package.
With the language amendment on the carrying piece.
Yeah, if you want to vote that in at the same time, I can make a note on your, on your list and include that language. It's very simple language, and I think you've all received a copy of it. So I'll make a note that that is also part of your motion for the language amending the statute.
That was our intent, Representative Cloutier, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, so when I made the motion, I said as amended. Does that work for you, Maureen?
I'd love to hear two votes, one on this initiative and then one on the proposed language part that would add to statute that this program would be carried in perpetuity.
Okay, so first motion is to move this in for the change package.
Second?
Any further discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
And then the second motion would be to move in this item with the carryover language.
That's fine. That's fine.
Second?
Any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, so moved.
And that's all I have.
Okay. I'm just making a note on that amended language. All right, so that concludes our work session for today. And I thank everybody for your hard caucus work today. We certainly have plenty more to do, but I think we got some good work accomplished today. And we will be able to see each other tomorrow live and in person under the dome. That's pretty exciting. And I want to thank everybody and look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. Thank you.